Okay, so it rained a lot last night, and that's not good for the tools. And our power went out, that's why you can hear all the humming, because people have generators, not us of course, so no shower for me yet today. But I'm sitting over near the path, and I decided to mulch, but this area I need to weed a little bit more. I'm not going to take out all of this. I like it, or this, but I'm just weeding and then mulching the areas that I weeded, and then keeping some things like this is actually coming from our neighbor's yard. It's a spirea. It's really pretty, so I'm just going to let it kind of weed through our garden, and then I'll show you some of the plants that I have here. So right there is the mailbox where I used to have the porcupine grass, and there's the 2 hydrangeas I moved there. And look at that is the lavender twist redbud. And then I planted some arbs along this row, and the bricks. I did all this last year. Valen planted all this grass, and 2 arbs died, so we ended up pulling them up and taking them back and getting our money back, which was nice. And then that's a rose that I found on sale. I forget what it's called, but it's like light pink with a darker pink eye. I think it hasn't flowered for us yet. This arb and this arb are not doing that great. And anyway, there's other stuff planted there. But then we have an Anna's Magic Ball, which I love. It's the cutest thing ever. It just grows into the shape of a ball. And then right here, and right there is a piece of hydrangea. I think it was arborescens that we got from the place where I volunteer. Somebody pulled it up from their yard, and I got 4 pieces. One of them had a big root, and it's over by the Luna Red hibiscus over by the fruit cocktail tree. But these ones were literally just sticks. Like you can see right there, it's kind of a stick with some greenery growing right there. And I just put them in the ground, and they actually sprouted. So there's 1, 2, this one actually has leaves up here. At some point I'll cut off this part of the stick, because it's dead anyway. Down there, whoops. And then this one I cut the stick off of. Right here is where I cut it. And now it's going, so I'm going to have a full-on hydrangea, 3 of them actually. And then we have this, and this was one of the ones that I got from my neighbor Jill, and it's clearly happy. I did also cut these sticks at the kind of middle of spring. There's some growth right here. I just cut above any buds that showed promise. But if these don't flower, then I'll just cut it off, I guess, because the new growth is coming from down there. Oops. And I'm not really sure the variety. It might be a paniculata of some sort, which means the blooms are like longer rather than like balls, as these ones are. These ones are, well, we'll see what they are. And in the meantime, I'm just weeding, and I need to get behind here and weed out this area, leaving this, of course, the spirea. And then we have the dead arb that I'm going to add root and grow to see if I can get, if there's any life in the middle, like of the trunk, maybe it'll leaf out again. I seriously doubt it, but we did so much work, I'd rather try that than not at all. Here we have a star magnolia, because we were so jealous of all the star magnolias everywhere. They're one of the first things to bloom after winter. Sometimes it's snowing, and then they have these beautiful white flowers. So we have one, and it's sun to part shade. So I am thinking maybe we might, if we take this arb out, we might plant it right there, or just right here. I'm not 100% sure yet. So, and then this right here, this beautiful bush is something that I cut down. I'm not really sure what it is, but this whole area right here was all underneath these like branches of these pines. And then I cut all those branches off the trunk, and all the shrubbery that was growing here came out, and some of it came back. And what's crazy is that right there was all the way to the ground, and now it's 2.5, 3 feet tall and wide just in this one growing season. So yeah. Oh, and right here we have a hydrangea tough stuff red, and it already has blooms, or like buds coming up. And there's a little fern. That is a Japanese beach fern. So kind of dinky, but I'm glad it's alive. Trying to get things out by the root, if possible. It's easier to do it without gloves because you can get a better grasp. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave the rest of those. Just this variety. We'll see what comes of it. If you know what it is, let me know. So I'm just weeding here. It's really hard to sit here near this without wanting to cut this off. So I'm just going to do that really quick. This is one of the Annabelle hydrangeas, and you can see there's a stick there and there's a stick here, and there isn't any growth of any kind. And if you scratch it, it's brown, so it's dead. So I'm just going to go down to right above where there is growth. Oops. So right here. Of course I didn't record it, but I cut it right there. Now there's space for the new growth. There is this other stick, let's scratch it. Also dead, so I'm going to try to cut that off without hurting the other leaves. There we go. Kind of weird because it sticks up off the top, but we're just going to let it go. I think this variety blooms on old wood, but don't quote me on that. So here's the tough stuff, and there's a ton of new growth and new, blooms, like I pointed out earlier, but there are some dead bits above the leafy bits, and when I scratch it, it's brown, so I'm just going to cut right here. There, and now the energy will go to what's actually green. Okay, here's another one where the stick is dead. Scratch it. You can't even scratch it when it's dead. I could cut it lower to make it stronger, but I won't. So I'm just gonna go around and cut off the dead parts. So this stick right here has what looks like green growth, but it looks withered, and when you scratch it, well, there's some green right there, so maybe I'll leave it. I'll cut off the tip though, only because I did that to the other ones. You look in there, it's green, so maybe it would have been nice. I don't know. This one is touching the ground, so I wonder if it'll root. Like, this branch doesn't even want to really come up, so. And I know that there is a way that you can propagate plants this way, including forsythia, where you just bring down a branch, put like a brick or something to weigh it down so it won't come up, and then it roots there. But that one did it on its own, so maybe we'll have another plant right there. Okay, here's the other one. And you can see the original stick. I'm just going to snip it down there. Now hopefully I remember it's a hydrangea. Don't weed it out like everything else. That's poison oak, poison ivy. It's so pretty right now. I cannot even begin to tell you how good the irises smell. And the smell just wafts all over the place. The purple sand cherry always leans like that when it rains. A little better. It's the Artemisia. I just love it. Super soft, really cute, easy to care for. The allium's blooming. So cool. And look at all the strawberries. So pretty. I hope we actually get fruit this year. But look at this. Bumblebee on the rose salvia just going to town. All the yarrow buds. And the daisy. Can't remember if it's a white or a yellow daisy. The phlox. More rose salvia that I got for sale for like 50 cents, I think, if I remember correctly, at Lowe's. Echinacea is filling up that cloche. I will remove it eventually, but first I need to sprinkle it with powder. Cayenne pepper. The delphinium have buds. Whoa, that one's tall. Everything's growing. Still not 100% sure what this is. I think it might be the foxtail lily. Oh my gosh, it's a poppy bud. Our first poppy bud. Yes. The hibiscus are all budding. And more salvia. I think it was just called blue salvia. Also from the sales rack at Lowe's. The candy tuft has been the star, I think, for most of the spring, but it's just now starting to get leggy and the flowers are kind of fading. So I think, I'm not going to do this right now, but I think I just need to pinch off everything above, like the main bushy part, or shear it off. I feel like this one can be in front and this daffodil should be, not daffodil, delphinium can be in the back. There. Look, the Weigella's even blooming. I'm really excited. I don't like Weigella, but I'm so excited about this one. I think it's called like spilled wine. I think I'm gonna start liking Weigella. There's porcupine grass around an iris. That's clearly not getting enough sun because all the others are blooming. The coralberry has buds already. That's a woodpecker singing. The threadleaf, everything just filled in over the last few days. I forget what this is. It's like an arrow something. But it has, I'm guessing these are berries. And then even Eeyore has filled in, and Eeyore has new pine cones. All the light green is new growth. Yay. And down here is Piglet. He was already showing growth pretty early in spring, and now it's just more full. And then right here, this is the primrose that I have underneath the espalier apple tree. I just moved some of it over here because we needed space for the ajuga. And it's already budding. Something happened here. I'll fix that later. The mailbox area, and I think this is the cotton candy. There's a bee bugging me. Can I help you? Hyacinth, a candy, what did I say? Cotton candy hyacinth. Kind of cool. Looks a little different than the pictures though. And this is a campanula, I forget. That's probably totally wrong. But I moved it from right over there, here, and it seems to have taken. This is a Carl Forrester ornamental grass. These are the hydrangeas from one of the first videos I made. And look at the dianthus. I did a video on how I deadhead these. It is so happy. Well, these two. That one is a little slower. This is the other side of the mailbox. Seems like this spot doesn't like anything growing. It's a barberry. Orange rocket, I think, that clearly is not happy here. The other barberry looks okay. And this rose has a bud. First time ever. And then here I have a yellow butterfly bush that I just kind of threw in. It's tiny, but it's alive, so that's good. And then I think these are allium of some sort, and I don't know, some kind of bulbs. And then over here we have the hydrangeas that I just cut. There, like deadheaded, and that's the red tough stuff. And then that one's from my neighbor. Here's the Brunera, I don't know. So cute. And then I never finished this, but I'm just kind of moving the mulch around with my feet, trying to put it in between the stones so that they'll be more still and that you can kind of see them, but not completely. I think it's starting to look good. This is a plant that was already growing here that I cut out and it came back. So we'll see what it is. Okay, it rained for days. I forgot this wheelbarrow out here, and there's no water in here. So you can kind of see, I guess, how well the mulch holds water. It doesn't feel wet, but it feels damp. But still, no water. Crazy. They're still not planted. Look what's blooming. That's the Coral Charm peony. What else is blooming? Right over the spirea that I just moved this year in spring. Okay, the pet dandelion is out of hand and too happy. Gotta stop the spread. And we have salvia here. Look, the rose salvia is in full bloom. I love it. It looks a little more purpley, lavender in real life than what I see on the camera. And the calyxes, or the, whatever these are called, are like more purple. The yarrow have a bunch of buds. All of them do. Here's one. And that one, not yet. And then look at the daisy. All those little white stars will be flowers. And then these three smaller salvias are also starting to bloom. Those little daffodils are still blowing. So cute. And then there's the daylily. I don't see any flowers yet. I thought I saw a bud, but nope. The echinacea is being guarded. And there's the hibiscus. The hibiscus is called the dark mystery. And then all the delphinium have buds. There's the phlox still blooming. That's another echinacea. Looks like some bunny has been chewing on it. There's the Earth Angel Rose, really excited about. That is a hydrangea. And there's the maidenhair grass. And I don't know what that is. I'm thinking foxtail lily. I don't know. There's the poppy. Oh look, there's a bud. Yes, finally. Candy tuft is still blooming. And then these other salvias, these are blue. Love them. There's the rose salvia, an iris leaf, and yarrow. I really love the leaves of the yarrow. Kind of ferny. Oh yeah, and this is the mulched area that I mulched yesterday. The dianthus is blooming. And I think this is candy, cotton candy, hyacinth maybe?